All right, Tim. I want to give you a little bit. So, gonna airbrush Luke on the primer. I know it probably should be a Mando, but he was the latest one that was on my thing. So hopefully this works. I'll show you how ghetto my setup is right now, and you'll laugh. But here's how it goes, man. Start to finish. I put a little bit of my cleaner. You'll see it. This is the distilled 10% alcohol, but I always just run it through a little bit. I lube up the. You can make jokes, but it's almost like it's a little dry at first, so if you get it wet a little bit, it slides faster. But that's how it works. So I always do that. Clean it out. There's going to be a little bit left over. So once you pop it in, you're going to spray that out. I dump it in this, usually it's a little closer, but you're going to pop it, and then you bubble it up through I don't know if you can see that, but I bubble it up through the pot, shake it out into my bucket, and then it's clean, so nothing's coming out. The Air Vallejo, I really like this stuff. It's needs no watering. This is also why I'm gonna have a fucking paper towel handy. But just dip that stuff in there. And I'm gonna throw my hat off real quick. Kills my light. But this stuff right here. I can't wait to show you what this setup looks like. But I mean, the surface primer, it goes on real smooth, man. I kind of keep it a little bit far out like this. This is I'm literally doing this on my deep freezer because I don't give a shit if paint gets on it or not. This is not my paint desk. Usually I would do this with my paint desk. This is how I prime normally. I wear gloves. You can always test your coverage. I don't know if you see that, but sometimes I'll test my coverage and sprays on my hand, or just the consistency to see if it's covering well. Because like when you mix your paints, sometimes you do that and then they bubble, and you're like, it's too watery. So this is my palette. This is my happy accidents. But as you can see, I hadn't watered this shit down. It's straight from the bottle. I like to use these gloves and stuff, especially. This is why I like the Star Wars style models, or like Marvel, anything with a low model count, because the priming isn't like a huge deal. Like when you're dealing with back in the day, like Warhammer 40K, or even Infinity sometimes, you're like, I got 20 models of fucking prime. You can get out of hand. But like, have all angles, it all looks really good. I'm gonna pull this over real quick. Pop my area with those in. So now he's done, right? Almost used all of that. And the way I clean it out, I'm going to pull this up really quick and check this. But I just have a bucket, and literally, it's a little too high, but literally it's like when it comes to cleaning, and this is even if I'm just felt like I did a color too much, or if I'm switching colors, this is how I do it. I pop that through just like that, then this normally wouldn't be that high, I just want to see it. But I spray it in, I dump it, I spray it. We're gonna lightsaber move Luke real quick, because I use my paper towel, and you bubble that shit through, see what the consistency looks like, bubble that shit through, see what the consistency looks like, add more of the water, but I do it on the side, so that it kills all of that paint out, like that. can keep it a little bit full to blah, blah. See how it's not really blowing anything out? And then you lube up that shaft. Clean that shit off like that. Lay that up. Boop. Right back in. Be very careful. You don't want to bend that fucking needle, man. Dump it out. Dump it out. Look at that. Nothing. Nothing. Bubble. Nothing. That's how I do it, man. I use that as my palette, but that's how it goes. Alright, I'm going to show you another video in a second.